14-year-old Aaron Schmidt lived with his much older half-sister, and her mother told him to leave the house. But a week later, he came back and he brought a loaded 9mm handgun with him. Alana was home alone, sitting at the computer, uploading some photos to Facebook. Aaron shot her in the back of the head, dragged her body out of the house, and left her to die in the woods.
This video contains the interview of a girl who discovered that her sister had been murdered. Calahan had recently graduated high school and was still living at home. Her days quickly developed into a routine, and she usually knew where other family members would be at any given time. This included their neighbor, Aaron Schmidt. Schmidt was one of Alana Calahan's best friends, was a daily visitor. The two had even dated briefly before Alana broke it off after being told she was too young for such a relationship. Schmidt did not seem to take the news too hard and continued to visit and act as usual. On January 31st, 2011, Amanda Calahan picked up her sister Alana from the bus stop and took her home. After about 30 minutes, she left Alana at home on the computer while she went back to the bus stop to pick up their younger brother. When she returned, Aaron Schmidt was waiting for them and told Calahan that Alana had been taken by a strange man. In truth, Schmidt had walked into the house and, using a handgun he had stolen from the Calahans earlier, shot Alana in the back of the head before dragging her body into the woods.
Hey, Alana. I'm Jimmy Evans. Okay. I appreciate you coming up here. All right. This is Teresa Lane. Let me get some information for you real quick. First name, Amanda. What's your middle name, man?
Wait. No, jeez.
Your last name?
Calahan. C-A-L-H.
All right, man. Tell me what happened today.
I left the house 3:21. Went and picked her up. But she got off the bus about 3:30, went back to the house, sat there for a little while, and then she got on Facebook and I left to go get chased about 3:48 maybe. And I was sitting up there and then I come back and the house was messed up. The chair was tipped over. There was Kool-Aid or blood or something everywhere.
Calahan had only been away from the house for about 10 minutes. Alana did not have time to struggle, but the chair was knocked over when Schmidt removed her body.
By the computer, and the door was wide open.
Which door?
The back glass door.
Mm-hmm.
The sliding glass door. And I shut it because I thought her and Aaron were just playing around. I shut it and locked it. And then he comes busting through the front door saying Alana's gone. So I locked the front door. I get in the truck and I took off towards the backyard because he said we got took off that way. Slammed on brakes when I saw Aaron coming out of the backyard because he was throwing up because he found Alana. And I went over to her body and...
Schmidt led Calahan and her brother to Alana's body almost immediately, although he could not have done so without already knowing the location.
Called 911 and they just told me to start taking blood out of her mouth and her face. And
What? You said Aaron came through the front door?
he got busted through the front door.
Saying she was gone?
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean by she was gone?
Because I was yelling for her and he heard me yelling and he said that she wasn't in the house at all. And he'd followed somebody over there.
Was he there with her when you left?
No. He was walking home and he saw somebody walk through our backyard.
After exhibiting some troubling behavior, Schmidt had been banned from visiting the Calahan household for 2 weeks. Right now on my Patreon, you can watch the most jaw-dropping encounter ever captured. This intense footage showcases an intense incident involving a man who, wielding a leather katana, aggressively charged towards the police. What unfolded within that crucial moment is way too intense and explicit for YouTube. Head over to patreon.com/strangerstoriesplus to access this gripping video and a ton of other Patreon exclusive content.
He was walking home from where? Did he say?
My driveway. I was at the end of the driveway and he come down to tell me that he couldn't come over for the next 2 weeks because he was on restrictions. And he saw somebody walking through the woods towards our house from that general direction, and he went that way, and he went in through the door, and Alana was gone.
So this happened while you were gone?
Mm-hmm. When I went back up there to get Chase.
You went back up to get Chase? But when you left the house to go get Chase, Aaron wasn't there?
No. Aaron was walking down the road.
Well, he was walking down the road when you went up there?
Mm-hmm. I thought he was at home. He might have been at home at the time. And I don't know.
You asked him, or how do you know he was walking down the road?
When I was up there waiting for Alana, he had come down to the house, to my driveway. And before she got off the bus, he started walking back home. And she got off the bus, and I took her home.
So he was up there talking to you at the end of your driveway before you went to pick Alana up?
Yeah.
And that's when he told you he was on restriction?
Yeah. And he started walking back home before the bus came. And then she got off the bus, and I assumed he was already home. And that's when he saw somebody.
Okay, and then you left. You go pick up Chase.
Yeah, and I took her back to the house and sat for a second, and I went back to the end of the driveway again to get Chase.
When you said the end of the driveway, you're talking about the end of the whole dirt road?
Where the fish mailboxes. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah, how long were you going?
Like 10 minutes.
Picking Chase up?
Mm-hmm. 5 to 10 minutes.
Then you and Chase get back to the house.
And I went in the house.
Was the front door unlocked?
Yes, because she was there.
Okay, so you didn't lock it when you left. It was already...
Yeah. And she was on the computer, and I come back, and I thought everything was fine until I went in the house.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought she had just made a mess and didn't know what to do to clean it up, so I was looking for her to clean up the mess, and she was gone. And then Aaron comes in front of her telling me that she's gone, and he can't find her. And he told me some guy was around the yard.
What did he say? What did he say about this guy?
He said that he was wearing almost all black, and he took off into the woods towards the creek. He couldn't tell me if he was old or young or in between or anything.
Okay, so after he told you that, then what happened?
I got in the truck to go look for her. I drove between the house and the red trailer to go into the backyard. That's where the truck's parked now.
Yes.
And I stopped right there because I saw him coming out of one side of the woods, and she's laying across in the other side.
So did you go out the front door to you got in the truck?
Yes.
And Chase was with you, or where was he?
He was in the truck.
Because y'all got in the truck. Where did Aaron get?
He went around to try to chase after the guy towards where he saw him take off. He was going to run down that way.
Which was where?
Toward where the passenger door is, down that path. And he looked over and he saw her, and he just kept going. And then
he looked over and saw her?
Mm-hmm, laying in the ground. And I stopped, and he told me he just got finished throwing up after he saw her laying there.
During the discovery, as well as when the police arrived, Schmidt remained calm and unbothered, although he and Alana had been friends for years and had even dated for a short time.
The passenger door of the truck's in the opposite direction, right?
Mm-hmm.
From where she was?
Yes.
So how did he see her?
He was running and he looked over because he was just doing a general scan of both sides of him. And her blue shirt caught his attention.
But he ran the other direction, right?
He was running this way, and he saw her over here in the open woods. Mm-hmm. And he ran over here to throw up.
He ran over to the right to throw up?
He went to the right to throw up in the woods.
But he didn't run over to her. He ran over that way and threw up?
He threw up, and then we both ran over to where she was.
Did you see him throw up over there?
No, I saw him coming out of the woods. Because he had already took off that way when I was getting in the truck.
Okay. So he went in the woods to the right to throw up. Mm-hmm. And came back out.
And told me that he saw her laying there.
And where were you at?
I was in the truck. I was getting out of the truck when I saw him. I said, "Where is she? Where is she?" And he's pointed that way, and he was trying to wipe his mouth off. Pointing towards her body.
I get a little confused here, Chris.
So when you went to get in the truck, he ran around the house?
Yeah.
And by the time
I got to the back of the house, he had got done throwing up and pointed to where she was laying there.
Well, wouldn't you have beat him back there?
No, because I put it in reverse, because I was just going to go down the creek and go around, see if I saw anyone, but I just went straight through between the house and the trailer. After I thought that for a second, I just threw it in drive and went forward and saw him.
So where you stopped the truck at, he was coming out of the woods from the right.
Yes.
And he was wiping his mouth, so he just threw up.
He was doing this, saying her body's over there. He just got done throwing up.
Did he say her body's over there?
She was laying on the ground. And so we both ran over there.
She throw it on there.
What do I need to draw?
I want you to draw the trailer. Okay, and then I want you to draw where you went in the truck.
All right, this is the side of the house. That's the trailer. The truck is generally right here between the two trees. Going right here. I threw it in reverse, and I went forward, and I stopped right here. He came out of the path that's right here, and in front of me, and told me that the body was over here. And so we got out and we ran over here.
Now, how would he get?
The front door is right here.
Right.
And
I'm saying, how did he have enough time to run around the house, come over here, see her, run back across over here, throw up?
He did not look at her body. He didn't go to look at her body. He ran from here, ran around this way, and kept running, and her shirt caught his attention, and he threw up over here.
Why did he throw up?
Just the fact of her laying there. I don't know why he threw up. I guess it was the fact that she was laying there and he was.
But you didn't see him throw up. He just told you.
He just told me he threw up. I didn't see him and I didn't get him.
Calahan is still in shock and has not yet had time to come to the realization that Schmidt, someone she has known for years, is responsible for her sister's death.
Investigated. I just jumped out of the truck and ran straight to her, called 911, and
what was he doing?
He was standing there beside me. And then he took the phone from me because I was too upset to calm down to talk to him. So he took the phone and I was doing everything that they had told me to do. I was wiping her face with the blood and trying to dig it out of her mouth. And pushing on her chest and trying to blow in her. And
what did he try to help in any way? Or?
He was trying to move the sticks from around her face, and there was one stuck in her hand.
CPR was of no use. Alana had been shot in the back of the neck and died instantly.
Did he say anything?
And he was just like, oh my God, I feel like it's my fault. And then he goes, I touched her, now my prints are going to be on her because he...
This was a staged reaction by Schmidt to explain why his prints, or DNA, might be on the body, and to plant the idea that any accusations against him were false.
Went down to touch the stick because he was going to move it. And he just freaked out about it. And then he called and he was freaking out because he thought his sister was going to be mad at him for leaving the house to begin with. And then he took the phone and he was talking to her and saying that she was like a sister to him and he don't know what to do. And they were telling us the same thing, to calm down. Calm down.
Why did he say it was his fault?
He just feels like it is because normally he's there in the afternoons when she gets home. Because if I'm there by myself, he'll be there with me. And then I'll go to get her, bring her back, and they're at the house hanging out together when I go to get Chase from the end of the driveway. So they're normally hanging out together. And he felt like it was his fault that he got restrictions and wasn't able to be there when it happened.
What do you think? Do you think she was shot or did you play?
By the looks of it, it looks like she was stabbed right here, a pen or a pencil.
Calahan is most likely describing the exit wound, which, without any experience, she might have confused with a stab wound.
I don't think she was shot.
You don't think so?
No. Just the way she looked, it didn't look like she was shot. She had a hole right here going up, and her braces were coming out of her cheek. I can't get the image out of my head.
So her and Aaron hadn't had any problems?
They had one back in last summer, not last summer, but when we first moved in. There was one because his cousin started something between them, spreading rumors, and once her and Aaron talked about it, they were fine. Ever since, they were fine.
Well, they dated or anything?
They had dated before, like when we first moved in, but after that, they considered each other brother and sister. And it's kind of like the fact that they were friends. Because Aaron would choose to hang out with us instead of hanging out with him like he always did. And so it's kind of like jealous.
I'm still trying to figure out how he came out the front door and ran around back there.
He had jolted out the front door before I had gotten in the truck.
Then he catches a glimpse of her over there and goes this way and gets sick. Instead of going over there to see if she was okay or anything. I don't understand that.
I assume it was the initial shock of it all just made him throw up. I don't know if he saw her or anything.
Now, when you were in the house and your word, you said he busted through the front door?
Mm-hmm.
Was he?
He was upset. He was panting. He didn't have his shoes on, and he looked like he had been running.
He didn't have any shoes on?
No.
Where were his shoes?
They were in the house. Because once he saw that the chair was knocked over and everything, he went back out the door. From what he told me, he went back out the door without shoes on.
So he would have came in and she was gone. Why did he take his shoes off?
He took her shoes off at the door. He took his shoes off to see if she was in the house room.
The Calahans routinely had friends and family remove their shoes at the door, so there was nothing unusual about Schmidt doing so, since he was an almost daily visitor.
The same thing I had done. Because I went to see if she was anywhere in the house, because I just thought it was a mess.
But when you got back from picking up Chase, he wasn't there.
No,
wasn't there.
he had come busting through the door after I didn't got my shoes off and everything. I started yelling Alana, and he come in the door.
And he came in the door?
Yeah.
So how would you have known she wasn't there?
Because he had already came in. He had saw somebody from the time I picked up Alana and took her home. He had saw somebody when he was walking down the street, cutting through a path between his house and ours.
Mm-hmm.
And he started to follow him. Once he saw him cut through, then he wanted to go through to see who they were and where they were going. And by the time he'd done that, he didn't see anything, and he had went in the front door to see if Alana was okay. And he wasn't there, so he took off running into the woods to he could find my guy that he was following, that he caught a glimpse of.
So he goes out, runs off into the woods with no shoes on.
Mm-hmm.
Then comes back when you're there and busted your front door.
Because
panicking.
He heard the truck and he come back and he's panicked and he said, Alana's got Alana's gun. So I ran in my room, grabbed my purse, locked the front door, and got in the truck. And by the time I got in the truck, I went to the backyard. He had already found it.
How would he know she was even there or not?
Her shirt is really bright. It was really bright.
No, I'm just saying he comes back, just goes in the house looking for her. But then he goes back out, runs down the path, and doesn't see her.
He didn't go that way. When you were looking at the house, mm-hmm. the driveway keeps going down. He went down that way.
Like
instead
down
of going
where
like
your truck was?
No. Over on the front of the house,
mm-hmm.
where the driveway is, he kept going down that path.
Why would he go down that direction?
In case,
did he tell you this or what?
Yeah, he told me that he had ran down that way because he figured if they take off in the woods, they're going to go that way away from everything.
That's not making a whole lot of sense to me.
You didn't think that was a little strange when he told you that?
No, because he'd never put any effort into hurting Alana, Paul, or Chase, ever. Like, with us around, playing around or not, he was so careful not to hurt them. And when he would come in and said she was gone, that's all we did. We flipped out. And we just wanted to find her. He was going to take back off into the woods to see if he can find the person. If not, he was going to go to his house and get his family or whatever, his uncle, and have them search him. But he had saw her before he went that way, all the way to his house. Because he had said that her shirt caught his attention. And that's what made him stop and throw up, because she was laying there and he had a feeling he knew that she was dead.
But then when y'all get over there, he said it's his fault.
He felt like it was his fault because he wasn't at the house like he normally was.
Then he said his fingerprints were going to be on the body now.
His fingerprints would be on the stick that was stuck to her hair. Because he was trying to move it out of his way so he could hold her head while he got the blood out of her mouth. And I told him not to touch anything.
Why would he be worried about his fingerprint?
Because he thinks he would be a suspect if he touched it.
Schmidt was right when he believed he would be suspected. He was the one who alerted them to the fact Alana was missing. She had recently broken off their relationship, and her parents suspected he was stealing things from their home. If he had truly believed someone else was responsible and still in the vicinity, he would have assumed that the police would focus on locating them.
Like, he's watched shows with us before, like CSI and NCIS and stuff like that. So he was scared that he'd be a suspect for touching it, and he was flipping out about it. I told him to calm down. It was just a stick. And he didn't know that, so he would freak out and take my phone away from me to talk to whoever. Yeah, I gave him my phone, and I told him to just go with me. I was mad. They were telling me the same thing over and over, and I was getting mad at him.
So what you telling him?
The lady on the phone was telling me to clear her airways, and
I mean, what was he telling you?
He wasn't telling me. I don't know what he was saying to her.
I thought you said he was saying something to you over and over, getting aggravated or something.
No, the lady on the phone was saying stuff over and over. She was telling me to push on her chest 30 times and to clear her airways and try to blow into her mouth. And I made him and Chase go sit on the logs away from everything.
So Chase went over there too?
Yeah. He didn't know what was going on. Chase just sitting there like, what's going on? And he asked me, and I just told him, like, go away.
What else did Aaron say?
He was just upset, and he was saying that he goes, she's like my sister. How could anyone do this to my sister? Because his biological sister up and left the house because she didn't want to follow the rules or nothing. So he considered us a second family.
So when he came in your house and took his shoes off,
he saw the computer turn off.
but he had already seen the guy.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's why he was going to check on Alana.
But he still came in and took his shoes off and then ran outside with no shoes on?
Mm-hmm. Because he wasn't going to take the time to slip them back on. Because he had come in and he took his shoes off and he said Alana, and he walked throughout the house. And I could tell he went in the house because my mom's door was open and it was shut, not completely, but it was shut. And I go in after he had done left. I assumed he'd left. And I come in and I thought, well, his shoes are right here, her shoes are right there. So he must have been playing around with the computer chair knocked over and stuff all over the computer desk and the floor and across.
Where's the computer desk from where the back door is?
Right beside it. Like, the desk is right here, and the chair sits in front of it, and the door's right here. The glass door's right there.
And when you come in your front door, can you see that computer desk?
Yes. When you come in the front door, You have the living room, to the chair, the love seat, the couch, the computer desk is right there behind it. There's no walls separating any of that. And I thought they were just playing around, so I'm sitting here yelling her name all throughout the house. Open the back door and I yell her name. The knob door that they built on. And I didn't even pay more attention to the glass door until after. And I looked at it and I shut it and I locked it. And then once I locked it, Aaron comes in the front door and he's telling me that she's gone and he was chasing after the guy. And you don't know where the guy went other than into the woods, through a path. So I'm getting her purse. I lock the front door and I'm getting in the truck. Chase is already in the truck waiting for me. I'm getting in the truck. I throw it in reverse. I was going to get down to the creek, but then I went forward, and he had come out of the woods doing this, saying, over there. And I was like, tell me. And I threw it in park. I was like, Aaron, tell me. And he goes, her body's over there. And
But when you first got out of your truck and you looked that way, did you see her?
No, because you can't, because where the truck is, the house is blocking where she was. Because I don't pull it all the way towards the back.
So how did he see the body?
Her shirt caught his attention when he went that way.
But still, just standing from where your truck is, and you looked that way, you couldn't see her.
No, I couldn't see her. He went past her and threw up into the woods, like past where that thing is, threw up in that path and come around the truck to tell me that she was over there. He went around the back and was pointing, and he started crying and was telling me that she was over there, she's over there. And I get out, I'm like, tell me. And I look over, and I just ran to her.
I just don't understand from how he ran, how he could have seen her.
He wasn't going very fast because he was like, Alana, and he jolted from about the middle of the house and he took off. And he always sees what's on his sides when he's running. Because he saw me one day and I didn't know it. And I saw him take off running. And he saw me, so he stopped and he turned around.
But still, even though when you got out of your truck, your truck was parked like this.
My truck is parked right here in front.
Yeah, just say you get out of your truck. You would have to turn this way, right?
I'd have to go to the back in order to see where she was.
Right.
So, and where she is, it's kind of open right there, so you'd be able to see it. And I'm pretty sure that if whoever did this, if I wouldn't have come up the driveway when I did, she'd be further up than what she was. But anything runs when they hear that truck coming up the driveway. Like if it's a car, they don't really, even animals.
So once you got in and you noticed stuff was messed up, when he came running through the door, I mean, was he muddy? Was he?
He was like covered in sweat and red. And I just saw him. Alana was with me.
And when you say when he came running through the door and said she's gone, he's sweaty, what do you mean covered in red?
Like his face was red from where he was going, and his hands were red from where he was running. Because his whole body turned red.
But was he muddy or?
No.
You ever seen him have a temper?
It was his cousin. It's not a high explosive temper. It's just oh my God, I just want to ring in that kind of temper, and he just cools off in 2 seconds. And he always gets that way with his cousin.
Right. But when you got in the truck and you came back there, he was coming out of the woods. His words were, "The body's over there."
Mm-hmm.
But he hadn't been over there yet.
No.
Then when you got out of the truck, did you see her from where you were?
Mm-hmm. He come around the back of the truck.
We were just talking about that when she would have to actually be at the back of the truck to be able to see.
All around where the tire was when I saw her.
Yeah, that's what they were looking for. What he said.
I don't know where he was after I saw him leave before Alana got off the bus.
Until the time he come back in the door?
To the time he come blowing through the door, telling me that Alana's gone. And he can't find Alana.
Calahan is too close to the situation to understand what the detectives are trying to tell her. Schmidt could not have seen the body, and he would not have had time to randomly find it, dart to another location to throw up, and then meet back up with her in the time it took her to drive to the creek.
And he was panicking, you said?
He was panicking. And I was trying to get him to calm down to tell me, and he couldn't tell me.
He was hysterical?
He was bad. He couldn't tell me anything. And I was like, go look for her before I got in the truck, and we just all took him out the door. He took off on foot, and I got in the truck. I was like, you can tell your uncle I'm tearing up his yard. But I was going to go through all of the open field that I could put that truck through to find him.
Did he, when he came through the door, did he tell you something was wrong that made you?
He just told me that Alana was gone. Because he took his shoes off, and you could tell that he took them off in a calm manner. Because they were just sitting there neatly. And he said that he couldn't find her in the house, and he couldn't find her at all.
Cool.
And then he told me that he had saw some guy.
So when you came home with Chase, you came in, and you saw Kool-Aid or blood, whatever you saw, and the chair was knocked over.
Mm-hmm.
And the back sliding door was wide open?
It was wide open.
And when you went and closed it?
Mm-hmm.
Did you look out the back door?
No, it didn't dawn on me to look at it at all.
So you wouldn't have seen the blood on the porch or anything right there at the sliding door?
I really didn't look. All I did was just pull it shut and lock it, and I got ready to walk to see if she was in my room or the boys' room or the bathroom, and Aaron came in the door saying she was gone.
The sliding door, do y'all have a bar or something to keep it locked?
Yes, we have a piece of wood that goes in the bottom.
And it stays in there all the time?
Mm-hmm.
And where was it at?
I don't know. I couldn't get back in the house to see where it was.
So you didn't see it anywhere when you were in the house?
Well, our prints are longer than what they need to be, and they bundle up at the bottom. So,
but normally that wood would have been.
It's always there. The door's locked, even though the wood's there.
Mm-hmm.
It's always like that, unless it's summertime and everybody's home.
Okay.
But other than that, since it's been cold, it's been locked. The wood's been there, and that's it. Those shades don't even get open.
Okay.
Because it lets too much cold in for airing, so it don't get open at all. The only door that gets open is the back door in the laundry room, but it's always locked.
So, when you drove up, after you got changed and you went in the house, how long were you in the house before Aaron came in the door?
Not long enough. Because he said he was coming back up it when he heard the truck.
He was coming back up what?
Up the creek, from the creek, the driveway from the creek.
So you get on the driveway past the front of your house and keep following that down. That's where he went down?
Yeah.
So if he sees the guy in the backyard, why is he going down there?
I'm not sure why, but my theory is that he could have cut him off if he took off running that way. Unless he jumped over the creek and took off that road, or went back towards Miss Patty's house.
I just think it's kind of strange. You're gone. He shows up, he goes inside, takes his shoes off. I guess y'all do that. He goes in, he can't find her. Why wouldn't he tell her, and maybe she rode with you up there to get Chase, or, why this panic? Oh my gosh, she's gone, she's missing, something must have happened. Then he takes off out of the house with no shoes on. Not stop to put shoes on or nothing like that, just in this wild panic because she's not in the house.
Because she's always in the house. If it's cold outside, you cannot find her outside.
Did he tell you when he came in that he saw the computer chair down and the doors wide open? And
no, he didn't tell me. He just told me that she was gone.
He come in and said Alana gone.
Yeah. And all I did was like, well, let's get out and look for her, and we'd sit up at the house and look for her.
How long did it take him to tell you that? I mean, you
It
said
was right when he came in the door.
You said he was hysterical. You had to calm him down.
I tried to calm him down after he told me because he come through the door. I was like, what's going on? He goes, Alana's gone. And I was like, well, calm down, tell me what happened. He goes, I saw somebody walking through the woods. I was like, get out of the house, let's go find him. And that was it.
But then he stopped and put his shoes on that time when he went out.
He went out after I did.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'd pushed past him. I told him I was going to tear up his uncle's yard and everything else.
So this time after he's hysterical, he stops to put his shoes on.
Yeah.
Then he goes back, and then he goes out.
Mm-hmm. Because his immediate reaction was just to go find her, since I wasn't there.
No one else had spotted the stranger, and Schmidt was the only person Calahan had seen in the area in the minutes before Schmidt claimed that she had been taken. There was no way that a stranger, unfamiliar with the inside of the house and area, could have gotten inside, murdered Alana, disposed of her body, and gotten away without being seen.
So he goes, and I didn't assume him to follow me out, but I was just going to go look by myself.
Why?
That way he could stay at the house with Chase.
But Chase was in the truck with you.
After I had run out the door, I went back in and got my purse, and Chase was in the truck, waiting on me. And Aaron had pulled past me to go out the door.
So you went out, came back in.
Yeah, I didn't even make it off the porch before I went back in. And he was putting his shoes on, and he said he was going to help. And so Chase had gotten in the truck while I let me get my purse and lock the door. Because on my purse, I have a loop that I latch my keys onto. I unlatched them and put the key in and locked the door. And by the time I got done locking the door, Chase had already been in the truck, and then I took off.
So when you left, you went back in and got your purse?
Mm-hmm. Because
your keys were on the purse, or you were taking your purse?
My keys are on my purse, and I was taking it because I don't want to dig for my wallet in case I got pulled over or something for speeding up down the road.
And then you went out, turned around, and locked the door?
Mm-hmm. I locked the door, and I was shaking, so it was a little harder to lock it. But I locked it, and
I'm having a hard time wrapping my head around this whole thing. It's not really making sense. You know?
I don't understand why the first time when he would go in and take his shoes off, look and say she's not here, and then boom, run out the door, and then come back in while you're in there. She's gone, panicky, all sweaty, but then you have to put his shoes on that time and go back out. You don't think that's a little strange?
The whole thing that started was the reason he took his shoes off is when we do that, and he was just going to see if she was in the bathroom or my parents' bathroom getting cleaner to clean up the mess. So he went to do that, and then...
Is that what he told you?
Yeah, and then not thinking about putting the shoes on, he just worried about
So you asked him why?
He threw it out the door. And then I come back down the driveway, and he came back in and told me that she was gone. I asked him why he didn't have shoes on. He said because he wasn't worried about shoes. He was worried more about Alana and where she was than getting sick. He's always been that way. Even when it was cold outside.
There's a lot of talking going on between all of this.
When did y'all have all these conversations?
We were yelling through everything. We weren't talking face to face. We were yelling through it.
Yelling through what?
Walls. Like the whole time I'm trying to get my purse and everything, I was like, well, where's she at? Why didn't you have your shoes on? Because I wasn't worried about him. I was like, well, I'm leaving.
Where was he?
He'd come in the house.
And when
he'd come in the house and I was standing there, I saw him, and he was bent over trying to catch his breath, red and sweaty face and everything else. And then I was like, what's going on? I started to freak out because I didn't know what was going on. And then I went and got my purse and everything and went out the door. And then he'd put his shoes on because he was going to go home and get his uncle and then come back over while I was out looking for him.
Schmidt never attempted to find his uncle or another adult. instead choosing to stay as close to the area where Alana's body was located as possible. He had no interest in getting help. His main concern was to put his spin on what happened as soon as possible.
That's why he put his shoes on. There was broken glass at the end of the path where the road is, and he put his shoes on so he could go get his uncle.
Y'all discussed all this?
He had told when he was getting ready to take off yelling, he was yelling, telling me he was getting his uncle.
Well, I thought you told me he said he was going to help you with.
Yeah. He said he was getting his uncle. The only reason why he was getting his uncle was to help look.
But you told me a while ago when he was putting his shoes on, he told you he was going to help look.
He said he was going to help look, and then he took off and he was going to get his uncle.
Stay there with Chase.
I thought he was going to stay there with Chase, but he didn't. He was putting his shoes on, saying he was going to help look, but he was getting his uncle. And he took off the door and told me he was getting his uncle to help.
But then he ended up on the other side of your truck, and the wood's thrown up.
That path where my truck is, take off, it goes to his house, where his uncle is.
But he came around the other side of the house.
No. He came around where that path is, where the truck is.
Right. So
he went through that path, and he just threw up right there.
But if he ran that way, even with your truck there, how did he see her?
My truck went there at first. He was coming out of the woods after he had told me he'd seen the body before he threw up.
But even before, like you said, when you got out of your truck, you had to walk to the back of your truck to be able to see her. So how did he know she was there?
He saw her shirt.
That's what he told you?
Yes, he saw her shirt.
But when you got out of your truck, you couldn't see her shirt?
No, he saw her shirt when he was running.
And you got out of the truck.
And then I get out of the truck and I walk towards the tire, and he said her body's over there, and he's trying to say it through a bunch of sobs and tears, and he was hysterical, and I couldn't calm him down, and all three of us ran over to where she was. But the only way he saw her was because of her shirt and her bright red sock. That's what caught his attention.
Is that what he told you?
That's the only thing it could be, because if you look
did he tell you that, or are you just thinking that's the only way he could have seen her?
He told me he saw her shirt. That's what he told me he saw. He saw her shirt. And if you look at the woods, that's all you see is her shirt popping out of the ground and her sock. The rest of her, like her jeans, they'll blend. And that's what they did. Like, all you saw was her bright shirt and her single red sock. And those shirt and sock caught his attention. And that's when he stopped and he saw her and he started throwing up. Because where the path is, he was not directly in the path. He was around here before you get to it, and I slammed on brakes and slid forward, and I stopped and put Chase's window down and asked him if he couldn't tell me. So I got out. I left the door open and everything, and he was telling bodies over there, bodies over there. I went over there, and all three of us went over there, and there's
Did you believe his story?
Yeah, he's never lied to any of us. He's never tried to hurt anybody. He's never put any of us in danger or anything. And I have a reason not to believe him or trust him or nothing.
So exactly, again, how long were you gone when you went to pick up?
A little less than 10 minutes.
It isn't surprising that Calahan is resisting the implication that Schmidt is guilty. No one wants to believe that someone they know could be capable of such an act, especially when a stranger has been conveniently placed on the scene to take the blame.
We left about 3:48 to go up there, and I backed up. I pulled out into the road, backed up, and by the time I got them backing up, the bus had come, and I went straight down the driveway back to the house. And that was it.
So within 10 minutes, you did that, and you walk in the house, and you're like, gee, she made a mess.
After his friend Aaron was playing around, yeah.
Why would you think Aaron was there?
Because I saw shoes. And when I first walked in, it was just, oh, answer. And I just took off my shoes and I'm like, oh, gee, they made a mess. So I'm yelling, Aaron, Alana, come clean up this mess. And
But then you walked to the back, saw the bedroom doors.
I saw that the door had been open.
Right.
And it had been shut, but not completely shut. And that was towards my mom's way. So I went out the back and I opened it and I yelled for her. And I didn't look around or nothing.
And then he came running in the back front door.
Not yet. I shut the door and I locked it. And when I went to the other one, I saw the other door, so I shut it. I locked it. And then he come in. He come in the door. And he had told me that she was gone.
And did you say, what do you mean, gone?
No, I didn't ask her. Well, I did. I was like, what do you mean she's gone? He goes, she's gone. Like, she disappeared, gone. And I was like, God. And then I started freaking out. I didn't care to know anything else. I just wanted my baby sister back. And she's there. But I know. So I told me nothing, so I don't know if she's gone or not.
So you don't think Aaron would hurt your sister?
And never hurt my sister. Or any of my brothers. Or me, or anyone. Like, when my dad was there, he would always help my dad. No matter what it was, he'd be out there a few seconds just helping him.
Who's this? Tell me about this person he saw.
He doesn't know. He just said that he knows it was a guy wearing just about all black.
Do y'all normally have people that just
Randomly come in the yard?
through that path? Because doesn't the path go from his house, then his uncle's property, and then your house? I mean, y'all three are like right there.
Yeah, and there's also this other couple, like this older couple, that have some of that path that we have also.
So do they have a house there?
Yeah. Yeah, it's towards the end of the road. Like, if you keep going up the path, it's into their backyard. And then you go the other way, it's into his uncle's land and then his house.
So normally do you have people that just walk that path?
Just family, his family and stuff. But I don't know, I can't remember how much longer ago it was. They had cops coming up to the house asking if we saw a guy that he was dressed in just about all black running through the woods. Like,
how long ago was that?
I don't remember.
Was it warm out? Was it cold?
It was cold. And he said that there was
before Christmas, after Christmas?
Before. I don't know if it was before Thanksgiving or not.
Even if there had been a stranger in the area, seeing them on the path rather than at the house itself wouldn't have been a good enough reason for Schmidt to have panicked so quickly.
And they just told us to be on the lookout.
They didn't say why?
Kill somebody. There was another murder. And they were on the lookout for a guy dressed in all black. And they were in our woods.
Did Aaron say they came to his house too?
We didn't ask.
He didn't tell you, hey, the cops came in the house?
Because if he's not at home with his cousin Tommy, or he's with his other sister or aunt, and I don't know the whole thing, so he's usually in one of them places or at our house.
How much time does he spend at your house?
A lot.
What's a lot?
It's usually from the time he gets home from school, which is maybe about 2:30. He'll be over at the house, and then he won't leave until about 8:30. Whenever he tells him to be home during the week. Then the weekend, he's there around lunchtime, maybe. And then unless his sister tells him he'll stay later than that.
So does he eat dinner with y'all every night?
Mm-hmm. He'll eat with us, and he calls us his second family. And he'll tell his friends that we're his second family and everything. And he tells his sister about us and how much he adores us and everything else. Because we treat him like one of ours. So,
how many brothers and sisters do you have?
technically, or that I live with?
That you live with?
Her and 2 little brothers.
How old are your little brothers?
9 and 10. And when she's 14, and my other sister, she moved out.
Are you in school?
No, I was going to start taking classes in Calicut during the springtime.
So you graduated already. So you're usually home there all day by yourself.
Yeah. This is the odd time I was going to have to. Always home. And that's what got me with that.
And you usually keep your doors locked all the time?
Unless it's sunny outside, I open the front door and leave it open. But all the backs are shut and locked. It's just the front door. As long as I'm sitting there, it's open.
So when you left today, everything in the back was locked, but the front door was unlocked.
Mm-hmm. As far as I know, nobody messes with the glass door. So I'm under the assumption that it was locked and the board was down and everything. And I told my dad that. He said the only way that if they got moved or anything was because whoever was at the back door, she knew them.
Alana was so used to Schmidt entering her house at that time of day that she probably never even looked up from the computer.
She had to.
She wouldn't have told him to go around to the front, or...
Normally she will, but I don't know if she did or not.
But most people that come to your house all the time, what door do they come to?
The front. They come to the front.
And take their shoes off at the door.
Yeah. The man who used to come to the front, they take off their shoes before they go to any part of the house. But Aaron wouldn't hurt any of us. Not even playing around. If he thinks he's getting too hard, he'll just stop. Even though Chase will sit there and say, well, you can do it harder, and you can wrestle, and he just won't.
You want to take him out over to your office?
Yeah.
Or sit down there for a little bit?
Mm-hmm.
You know, get your warrant tissue needs. Anything else right here?
Just my mom.
Well, we'll get you that soon.
Awesome.
Lacey Aaron Schmidt was found guilty of first-degree murder for the death of Alana Calahan. At the request of the prosecutor and the victim's family, he was sentenced to life without the possibility of parole. Several years after his conviction, Schmidt appealed his sentence, claiming it was a cruel and unusual punishment, but the Georgia Supreme Court ruled to uphold the original sentence. Thank you for watching. If you like this type of content and want to support the channel, there is a Patreon link in the description below. You'll be able to watch videos with 0 ads and some that are too controversial for YouTube, and you'll be supporting the channel at the same time. Thanks again for sticking around, and I'll see you in the next video.